Millennials Talk That Ish. As y'all know, I am Monet.
And I'm Mia.
And today we are going to be talking about religion and relationships.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very important to have this conversation when you're dating someone because you never know how they are spiritually and religiously. I feel like it can be a major, like, oh no, I can't be with you, red flag. Depending on how strict the religion is of the person that you're dating. How do you feel about?
I think it's important too because some people's religion is their whole life, it's their lifestyle. Some people, religion is very important to them, but it's balanced among other things. Mm-hmm. Some people don't even care about religion, don't care what you do. And then there's some people who are atheists. So if you do believe in God and this person is atheist, are you going to be able to balance that out? And some people, it might not bother if they're not super religious. Some people be like, nah, you gotta go ahead with that. So I think it's an important question to have, to be honest.
Have you dated anyone who was super religious?
I haven't dated someone who was super religious, but they were very religious and their family was religious. That was Naaman. Okay. His father was a pastor, mother first lady. And that was ultimately the reason why we just decided to go our separate ways because I'm not religious. So when it came down to it, I'm not going to do the church stuff. I'm not going to go to church. Mm-hmm. And that's a big part of his life. That's a big part of his upbringing. So it was, am I going to be willing to set myself aside and come outside of what makes me feel comfortable to go into something that doesn't make me feel comfortable because that's something that he loves. Mm-hmm. And ultimately I decided it's not for me. We had the conversation and we both decided, this is something that we both cannot compromise on. Mm-hmm. So.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I've never dated anyone like super, super religious. Like, never. Honestly, I've always been the one who was like, more of the religious side. Mm-hmm. I probably mentioned it multiple times. My family, they're Jehovah's Witnesses. Mm-hmm. I am not baptized, so I do not claim myself as a Jehovah's Witness, but I do say that I follow the religion because that's technically what I do. There's certain aspects of the religion that I don't follow, but the ones that I do stay true to, I am kind of strict about it to an extent. I'm not gonna lie. And that's like celebrating holidays. Y'all don't know why we don't do it. It's simply because what these holidays stem from. Mm-hmm. And when I do have these conversations with like my partners and stuff, a lot of people don't understand Jehovah's Witnesses. So it's off the back like, oh, are y'all a cult? Are y'all this? Are y'all that? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say that it ever became a problem though within my relationships or like the ones that I cared about. Right. Really. And like I don't know if it's because they didn't like to make it a big thing or I didn't make it a big thing. Right. I don't know. I want to say them because like I said, I'm the one who's kind of like strict on.
Right, because they weren't like really religious.
They weren't too religious. Honestly, they're not religious.
Right. Right.
They believe in God, but they're not religious. Like they're not how deep her ex was going to church, father being a pastor or nothing like that. Never that deep. They never went to church. They just believe in God, like most people, if you want to be honest.
Right.
With my son's father, I did have to have the conversation though of like what he will celebrate, what he won't be celebrating, and when we initially had the conversation, because I would like to have it again actually, because now that my son is older, when we first had the conversation, it was like 1 year he'll celebrate Christmas, the next year he won't. Mm-hmm. Because I personally don't believe on forcing a religion onto someone. Right. And especially like my son is not baptized, just like I'm not. My family didn't force it onto us. Like of course they taught us, but it wasn't. Oh, you better get baptized. Like you don't have no.
Better follow it.
Yeah, no. It's just honestly the only religion I know.
Right.
My son has the choice to as he get older to celebrate whatever he wants to, but I am still teaching him the truth of the truth that I believe is the truth. And honestly, his father haven't given me a problem with it.
Right.
He hasn't. He knows that if he wants to buy him a gift for any holiday, here, go right ahead. Right. I don't take that away from him. for my son with certain holidays, like for Halloween, so that he won't feel left out. I buy him a costume. I buy him tons of candy so that he won't honestly feel like, well, what about me? When it comes to other kids, like in school, they be having their candies and stuff. He could say, oh, I got candy too.
Right.
Even for the month of December, we don't celebrate Christmas, and his birthday is also in the same month. One thing I can say, I do let him celebrate his birthday because I do it, and I would be very hypocritical of me not to let him celebrate it, but I'm sitting up here partying every year.
Right.
For the month of December, me and my mom, we buy him literally, he gets something new every week of December, so that he also don't feel like he's missing out when it comes to Christmas. We even wrap the gifts in wrapping paper so he could tear it open and still have that same excitement. But it was never really an issue for me.
Right.
I don't think it ever would. I would hope that it wouldn't.
Right. It depends on.
I feel like it depends on if they're religious.
Yeah, that's when it's like, okay, the conversation might be a little deeper, a little more serious, and are we going to be willing to compromise? And it also depends on the religion, because some religions are really super cool, and then some religions are really strict. There's certain guidelines you need to follow, so it also depends on both of your religions and where you'll be able to find that balance.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? One religion that I don't think that I could date with me being a semi-religious person, I want to call myself, is Muslim, because they're also a very strict
religion. Certain guidelines you need to follow, must uphold, right?
So I feel like that it will really come into
play a clash.
Yes, a big one at that. It will be, because also I believe that even though we believe that it's only one God, I think the way that we believe in it is different.
Yeah.
I'm just speaking from what I believe. I don't know the extent of the Muslim religion and exactly what y'all believe in. So I don't want to be disrespectful with anything that I'm saying. But I do think that would be the main clash. Like, okay, one, we don't believe the same type of God exists. Two, it's specific guidelines, like you said, that Muslims have to follow. Like, and then I believe, if you're dating a Muslim, don't you have to convert? Like, if you get married,
most people do convert. I do know one couple, she has not converted yet, but she's willing to convert.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, and those who are in the Muslim community, or you guys can chime in, that
yes.
They definitely want you to be with someone who is also Muslim.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, those are things you gotta consider, because I know me, I could not date someone who was religious, because I'm not converting to anything. No matter what the religion is. The only religion that I would ever, if I wanted to be classified as religion, is Buddhism.
Okay.
Other than that, I wouldn't identify with any other religion. But I think sometimes if you can find a balance, I feel like it could be a great thing. And I feel like if you're an open person, it could be a great thing. Like if you have children, they'll be able to grow up and learn about, the different cultures within the religion. And they can choose or not choose, whatever, as long as you're not worshiping the devil. Yeah. Because that's not a choice.
Yeah, that's not a choice.
Then I think it could be a great learning experience for them. But I see a lot of times some people don't make it because it's just like, nah, I don't.
Yeah.
No.
And don't get me wrong, I feel like within the Jehovah's Witness religion, they do want you to date another Jehovah's Witness because y'all share the same values.
Right.
But me personally, from what I've experienced, they're not as strict as other
cultures.
Yes.
Other religions, right.
Because you could become a Jehovah's Witness and totally be married to someone who is at all, and still do what you're supposed to do. Versus, as we mentioned, like Muslim or any other religions that are strict when it comes to it, they want, like you said, they want you to marry someone within the same religion. I think that would be hard for me. I'm not gonna lie, because we're around so many different people. You can't help who you find attractive. You can't help who you love. So I think that would be like, if I was like in a Muslim family, that would be kind of hard.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that would be kind of difficult.
Yeah.
Too, because it's the pluses and the positives of the religion. Are you gonna be able? Some people, we don't always like to talk about the difficult parts of religion sometimes, So people will tend to get offended about things you say about the different religions across the board because no religion is perfect. So I think sometimes since we don't talk about the negatives to certain religions, that also leaves that like gap there. Like, when I converted, you didn't say this part.
Agreed.
You left that part all the way out. Nah, I don't want to do this no more.
No, I agree, because even within the Jehovah's Witness religion, there's a lot of things that I don't personally agree with. And honestly, maybe that's why I wouldn't be able to date someone who is baptized as a Jehovah's Witness, because there's certain things I know I do not. I don't agree with it. Because I would never, like, one of the rules is, you know, if one of y'all get this fellowship, you cannot talk to them if you are baptized. Let me make that very clear. If you are a baptized Jehovah's Witness and one of your family members who's also a baptized Jehovah's Witness get this fellowship, you cannot communicate with them unless it's for business purposes only. I personally don't agree, because I can't see myself not talking to my child. And so that would be kind of hard for me. And I think that would be hard for anyone, honestly, especially someone who is not used to that religion. So to just have, like, my partner automatically convert to Jehovah's Witness, that might be something that would be like, wait a minute, why you ain't tell me this? I wouldn't have did this if I knew this. 'Cause I'm pretty sure for you, that's like a...
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Just take me out too then.
Just kick me out too. That's it. Which I can understand that. So yeah, it's like with religion, it's a tricky thing.
It is. It definitely can be
with dating.
It definitely can be. And also, like, if y'all get married, do you follow both religious marriage values? Like, do y'all need to have separate weddings, like more than one wedding, one that follows this, one that follows that?
That's kind of, because that's like even with like the different cultures.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. That's, Or
is there any way that you can combine it? Because, I mean, you got to think of all of that stuff too, because then you don't want these problems to come down the line and it's like, oh, wow, I didn't even... Because I even do that with, like, when I'm dating people with different cultures. Like, what is your traditions? Because it might be something in your tradition that I'm just... If you follow it, I might be uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
So, is it something that I can gain comfortability with? Or is it something I'm like, nah, that's weird, I'm not doing that.
Why you gotta say it like that?
I mean, because some things that are not known to me, I might look at it like, I don't think I'm gonna be okay with that. I'm not gonna do that. And some things that's in my culture that you might be like when I tell people about like African weddings, they are extravagant. They last like 3 days. Personally, me, I personally would not be doing that. I don't even like people for 3 days, so I'm not doing that. You know, it's a lot of traditional things that go into play, but are you gonna be able to do that?
That's true. I don't think I would. That's why I don't date religious people. I gotta continue being an only religious one.
That's a lot of work. That is a lot of work when it comes down to it. And sometimes it's difficult conversations.
And you know what's crazy? Me being that I've never dated someone who is that religion. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I'm sitting like a little religious myself on why I never dated someone who was that religious, because I never found someone within the Jehovah's Witness community that I wanted to date. It was always outside, so maybe that's why I always kind of stayed away from them, like church boys and stuff like that, because I figured it would be difficult.
It's definitely different. Also, like, I was raised Christian. Y'all ain't really much better than the outside boys, to really be honest.
Honestly.
Y'all just happen to be forced to go to church, most of y'all. So it wasn't really like I'm gonna get quality because you go to church necessarily. Especially, and I can't speak in the Jehovah world, but I know in the Christian world, y'all be wilding. So I was raised in the church. It was the Bible school on Wednesdays. I was a praise dancer. I was on the children's choir. We had Bible school quizzes. Like, it was a lot. And a lot of y'all was doing dirt. So it wasn't like I was guaranteed to get quality just because I was in the church.
Yeah. I don't want to talk down on the Jehovah's Witness religion, but within the circle I know, let me say that. I don't know about everybody else. But in the circle that I am familiar with, they weren't that great either. Right. Even like the women, because like I said, most of my family is Jehovah's Witnesses. Even it's just like they didn't follow it as they should. Right. It didn't make a difference.
Yeah, that's basically what it comes down to. So whether I date within the religion or not, it wasn't like a big like, oh my God, let me go back here because outside world got nothing going on.
Yeah. It's like, oh, y'all all do the same thing I do.
Basically, that's basically what it boiled down to.
Y'all do the same thing.
I mean,
we ain't no different. You just baptized. To me, you really disrespectful.
Exactly, and I was baptized, so
But see, I feel like a lot of other Christians and other Christians, y'all are forced to be baptized.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice. Yeah, and if you African, you already know you ain't got no choice.
Right. I feel like that comes.
If you gonna follow this religion, you gonna follow it until you get on.
Even as a baby, y'all get baptized.
Yeah, like you get baptized, like, and if you got like godparents or whatever, you know, you get. So I mean, you don't really necessarily have a choice in doing it. I mean, I didn't get baptized till I was like 9 or 10 or whatever the case may be, but it still wasn't a choice. It was like this is when it's gonna happen.
Okay. One thing I noticed within the Jehovah's Witness religion, they do give you a choice. It's not forced upon you, even as a kid.
Well, if you African, that is not true.
Oh, okay, yeah. Within, let me say
the religion may not.
The religion, but your parents might force you. Let me say that
because in an African household, you gonna do what you gonna do when I say do it. Ain't none of that other nonsense going on that y'all talking about.
Yes, no, but the religion itself is not like a thing to automatically get you baptized as a kid. And I don't know, I know it's tradition for y'all, I guess I want to say, but it is a thing where it's like, hey, you're a baby. It's time to
right, because they also feel like when you're a baby, that's when your soul is pure. Like you're clean of all sins, of all evils. So why not baptize you now in your most purest form, and then you're protected always as you grow.
Okay.
Which I get it, because I mean, you know, babies, they say babies see angels and all kind of things when they're looking up at the sky and all kind of things. You know, we don't know. These are just things people say. But I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I don't want my child to not have the option.
Yeah. Because I feel like you should have the option, because what if, like most people, like we just said, they just like us. They sin like we do. Ain't nothing different. That's why I personally haven't got baptized. I feel like it's so disrespectful to make the decision to get baptized knowing that, hey, it is what it is. I'm a sinner. I do things I'm not supposed to do, whether it's not as deep as like murdering and death, and like it's not that deep. But what people consider sins, hey, I still do it.
Right.
So I do feel like kids should always have a choice. Even your partner, I feel like it shouldn't be forced upon your partner to have to convert to what you are. Whether it's me as a female or my partner as a man, like I said, like I mentioned, a Muslim, if I want to date a Muslim, I shouldn't have to automatically convert. I just don't think it's right. I don't agree with it. Because it's like, why? To me, it's just like, why?
Right.
Why can't, like you said, why can't we just, have a household of two beautiful religions and teach our children both religions, and they can pick and choose?
Right, and they can choose not to be religious at all. Like I said, as long as you're not worshiping Satan. Because that is not a choice in my household. So that would be forced upon them. I'm sorry.
No, that's a done deal. Because then now you gotta go. You want to worship the devil?
Witchcraft in my house. So that is a religion in itself.
Yes.
So therefore, it will not be allowed in my home. That is one thing I will force on my children, unfortunately. So y'all can say whatever y'all want to say, but
no, that's a fact.
That's just what that is. You got choices always in home. But
besides that,
and black culture and a black diaspora, one thing we don't play about is witchcraft.
That's a
so, baby.
Understand.
Let me tell you.
No.
And whoever I breed with will probably be in a diaspora.
Yup.
And we do not play about no witchcraft.
Not at all. That's when you gotta go.
So.
Sidebar real quick about this. When my baby was 1 year old, he was standing in front of the TV, staring at the TV, the static screen, and I was like, Amir, and he ain't answer me. When I say I left that child in that room, because I do not play when it comes to witchcraft, demonic stuff. None of that. We don't.
I don't even joke about that. I ain't even gonna hold you. I do not play about that at all. Like my boyfriend made a joke the other day, like, cause he tore his ACL. He was like, "Oh, when my leg get better, I'm gonna lock you in the bathroom and I'm gonna say CM name 3 times." I said, if you ain't never seen me fight before, you gonna see me fight. I put that on my dead mother. I will knock you clean out, bro. I will knock you clean out in that bathroom. And then I'm gonna call your mother and I'm gonna tell her what you did. That you tried to be funny.
That's not funny.
Because you think this.
Now you gotta go.
You say I didn't even say the man's name. CM.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. Like, no, I don't play them games.
Hey,
I don't play none of them. The BM12, I don't play
none of those.
Shorty. None of them things. I don't care.
Whether it's real or not, I don't have time.
I don't play with witchcraft at all. I watch like documentaries and stuff about it.
Okay.
But don't say that stuff in my house. And even the other day I learned, I didn't even know this. My boyfriend was like, I was asking him, can he whistle? And he was like, yes, I was trying to do it. And he was like, don't do that. He's Panamanian. I'm like, why not? He was like, his mother was saying like whistling calls stuff. I was like, I didn't. I never like, you should not supposed to do that in your home. Like you do it outside or whatever.
Okay.
But in your space, you're not supposed to. And I've never heard that.
Yeah.
So I was just like, because I'm trying, I can't whistle. So I'm like, whoa. Like, and he like, I don't do that shit in my house. And I'm just like, what happened? Like, like, we calling them shits in my house. Call out who, bitch? Who you talking about? Because I don't even play that. So who you talking about? We calling.
Right, who we calling when you eat?
I stopped real quick. My mouth was like, you ain't got.
No, that was funny. I'm not even gonna lie because I'm the same way. We don't even watch certain stuff in my house.
Yeah,
like all that, The Conjuring and based on true events type stuff.
Yo.
We don't watch that.
Yo.
We don't watch that. And my uncle would be at my house and he'll be watching it and I'll tell on him quick, like, Mom, he in there watching that stuff. That stuff. She be like, go tell him to turn it. We do not play them games because I don't care what any of y'all think or believe. We believe that certain things can.
Certain entities.
Bring them into your house. Like.
Certain entities.
They can be attached to certain things. It can be attached to objects.
Yep.
Like
like the Annabelle doll.
Yeah, like, even though it's not the doll that's in the movies, it's an actual doll. That shit is real. Mm-hmm. All of that attachment to objects, it can happen.
And you ain't bringing nothing up in here?
Not around me.
That's gonna attach.
I don't want to attach
nothing in my house because my house is peaceful. Our area is peaceful.
I'm good.
I'm bringing no demons in here because I'm not a bruja and I'm not getting rid of nothing. I'm gonna get rid of you.
Oh no, most definitely. You gotta go. You and it gotta go.
Okay, you can't stay here. I'm not feeding 3 people. So,
but that's why these conversations are as important as they are because you never know what people are into.
You don't. You really gotta ask people these questions though. You really do gotta ask.
And you don't find out until later, honestly.
Right.
When you're getting to know them more deeper and you learning what they like. Oh no. Y'all can keep that. Y'all can have it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's it for today. I think we said what we need to say. Ask some questions.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like we said, don't bring that shit over here. Nia, say your line, girl.
So like and subscribe to my YouTube channel unless you worship devil, because we don't want your views. We don't need it. And like and comment and